I will just request everybody to kindly mute yourself. Okay. Mantras and the energetics of mantras. We discussed the 6 aspects of the mantras, then the way you do the mantras, the different ways to do them, followed by the practice of the mantra in detail, the beads, the timing, the asanas, which is also crucial if one wants to attain a mantra siddhi. We also discussed mantras in aspect to our lives, whichever stage of life you are in, whatever your goal may be. Mantras can become a part of our lives in any stage. We discussed the three GUNAS, sattvic, rajasic, and tamasic mantras, and the effects of those mantras. It was an extension to the very detailed session we had on the 3 GUNAS a few weeks ago. We also had that session with all the different mantras, and all of you gave examples of the various different mantras, enlightening your knowledge. Now, today we're going to talk about the energetics of mantra, the benefits of mantra. We can compare the use of mantras with that of herbs as well, I could say. It's very different to just pick a herb out of a book which appeals to us and then go to a qualified herbalist to get a good herbal formula that really addresses our condition as a whole. Mantras, like food and herbs in Ayurvedic medicine, have particular energetic effects. They can be expanding or contracting, heating or cooling, light or heavy, soft or harsh in their effects. Just as any herbal or Ayurvedic therapy rests upon the understanding of the herbal energetics, in the same way, the application of mantras upon a right understanding of the energies of the mantras. The overall energetics of the mantras depend upon 3 primary factors: sound factor. The effect of the mantra relates to the energy inherent in its sound. Example is Om, the energy that produces when we state that mantra. So the sound factor is like the body of the mantra. Then we have the pranic factor. The effect of a mantra depends upon how its sound is made. The same sound can be made with more or less force, intensity, velocity, or prana, which naturally will alter its energy, meaning, and impact. Different tones come into play here, and how the mantra is aligned with the breath, how we breathe, the intensity, how softly. This is like the life force of the mantra, very, very crucial. And most important, the intent, the mental factor. The effect of a mantra depends upon how we energize it with thought, meaning, intention, and emotion. All these things are very, very crucial. This is like the mind and heart of a mantra. Very, very important to have all this in balance in order to recite the mantras accurately. There are energetics relative to the sound quality of a mantra and its application. Some sounds like sha or ma, for example, tend to be soft sounds, while pa or ta tend to be hard. In addition, sounds are also connected to the pran and reflect the conditions of our own pran or vital energy. If our pran is disturbed, our speech and mantra will be disturbed. If our pran is calm, then our word is more important and it will be calm. That is the difference between the sound and its meaning. An effective mantra requires appropriate sound, intonation, and deep sense of meaning. The energetics of mantras are subtle and can be modified significantly by the way in which they are applied. For example, a simple mantra like Lam, it indicates the earth element with its density, inertia, okay, calm and delight, but also has some watery and nourishing qualities. Applied with harshness, which is the tamas energy, and force, which is the rajasic energy, the mantra can literally be used to crush things into ground with the power of a stone. And applied with softness, sattva good, grace and beauty. It can be used to dance lightly, slowly, and rhythmically on the ground, releasing the joy inherent in all creation. Root sounds like those of Sanskrit alphabet have a spectrum of potential meaning. They are not ordinary nouns like a house or a tree. They have specific meaning only. Some sounds reflect a range of opposites in Sanskrit as well, so we have to be careful. For example, the root U means both to unite and to separate, and consequently to coordinate. However, we don't have to worry about that because most of the mantras that we do, we've received them from a bona fide practitioner or a spiritual master. This is just for your information. So, there is also the seed mantra. Now, this entails more like, poetry. It requires subtle and sattvic mind to appreciate. This entails decoding the mind from its habitual sound association. For example, the English word bum connotes to, the backside, or, if somebody's called a bum, it means a worthless person, which meaning we automatically attach to the sound. Yet the seed mantra, bum, same pronunciation as in the word in English, is used to project light. What a difference. So much light, in the mantra. Therefore, it's essential to understand the meaning of the mantra that one is reciting in order to have that energy put behind the mantra. The mantras prepare the mind for meditation by clearing out conditioned sounds and the emotional reactions. They allow us to continue unconsciously within us. Yet, mantras can also help us improve our actions in the outer world by providing us with the insight and creativity to respond to the challenges of the moment, no longer burdened by our previous psychological baggage. Now, when we talk about the benefits of the mantra, it's very, very interesting what it does. And as part of your homework this week, we're going to do an experiment. However, before that, we need to go through the benefits of the mantra. The repetition of a mantra is a means of improving the powers of concentration. There are Indian spiritual masters who maintain that the meaning and the content of the mantra do not necessarily have to be understood by the aspirant in order to bring about the desired effect. However, I believe it's important to understand the meaning in order to have that energy and what I just explained, how it can change everything, the whole perspective. So it's important to understand that to bring in the desired effect of that particular mantra. Mantra alone is sufficient to achieve the spiritual awakening, which is its purpose. However, the use of mantra also purifies the subconscious mind, and if it is repeated mechanically, some purification will take place. However, each mantra is devotional by nature and has the divine as its form and essence. With concentration on the meaning, the attainment of the ultimate goal is surer and quicker. One of the results that comes quickly with the practice of mantra is the control of breath, which is the means by which we can develop the ability to control the emotions as well. In chanting, we can give all our emotions to the mantra, very essential, to the deity of the mantra, and ask the deity to help us gain control. In this way, we can find a safe release for negative feelings. Rather than throwing them on someone else, we offer them back to their source. Continued chanting will lead to greater awareness and the replacing of negative feelings with positive affirmations without a doubt, without a doubt. Mantra practice stills turbulent emotions and thereby stills the mind, the turbulent mind. In yogic terms, there's a difference between emotions and feelings, since a purified emotion becomes a true feeling. Mantra yoga gives an opportunity to know the emotions, what they are, where they come from, and what their proper place is in our lives. Through mantra yoga, we can learn to deal with the emotions properly, to control and refine them, and to encourage the harmonious development of all aspects of human potential. When emotions are purified, they develop into love, which is an important step in the awakening of further levels of consciousness. This is all interconnected, and for a person aspiring for spiritual growth, this is completely the way to go. Feelings which have been purified bring us into the presence of the divine, and from the divine we feel a sense of protection. The mantra is like a shield against all that is negative and disturbing. It is not a magic pill. I think it is, but in reality, practically, it's not a magic pill. It's like a steady stream of water which gradually weighs down the hardest of stones. Although you may have experienced worries, loneliness, and had limited encounters with love and joy, do not despair. Oops. Okay. The mantra is like a shield against all that is negative and disturbing. So, as these negative emotions evolve into more refined feelings, you will find that your concept of love and joy also change. The sensitivity is exactly what is needed to enter new dimensions of understanding um, on the path to self realization. The voice that becomes an instrument for expressing and controlling emotions. All stray thoughts and emotions should be offered with the chant, as though the singer was telling you to tell the Lord who is called upon. Thoughts crowd in the intensity of chanting, and it can increase determination to surrender all to the divine energies. The voice becomes an instrument for expressing and controlling emotions. All stray thoughts are offered to the Almighty. Your voice can be caressing, gentle, intense, full of longing or surrender. At other times, it may be strong and powerful as you put it into it all your anger and disappointment, your requests and demands. Honestly, express to God what you feel, even your anger and impatience for not bringing you sooner to Him. In chanting out the emotions from the ugliest to the most exalted, in giving them back to the one who gave them to you. This is part of the spiritual journey. Part of the journey of the mantra, you come across all this. If one is aspiring to achieve a mantra siddhi via mantra japyo, then you go through these various stages of emotions and voice control. Emotions in themselves are not bad, but when running wild, they can be extremely damaging. Even love, when not shared, not given freely and generously, becomes self love, which turns destructively back on the individual. When emotions are directed, they are a source of strength for great achievements. Through the power of emotions, all over the world, men have overcome their limitations and attained a higher purpose in life. Emotions channeled through a mantra towards the divine can take you close to God. and raise you to the highest level of spiritual um, spiritual expectation. Now we can also experience moods which can be brought under control, and awareness in here and now will grow. The mental background noises keep us tied to the past and future, to fearful imagining and senseless fantasies, which cause our self-created sufferings. That happens even during the chanting process. Now, this energy during a mantra will now be channeled to the most highest, to a positive affirmation of one's innermost self. So many benefits of a mantra. Do not let the intellectual mind distract you from attempting the practice of mantra and japa. No amount of words or book knowledge can give you the experience. You have to practice yourself for their effect to be understood. Those who do practice mantra japa can definitely share their experiences and tell you so. The benefits depend on the individual, on where you start, where you stand now, what your past lives have been, the intensity and the degree of longing in your desire for the mantras. When you chant a mantra, your whole being changes for the better. With the habit of repeating the mantra at all times, the work you do will become easier and more joyful, because the mantra is continuously in the back of your mind. It starts playing on your subconscious mind. Once you start this mantra japa, it will remain in your subconscious mind and play even when you're doing other things. And then obviously we talked about the asana, etc. If you're doing heart yoga, there's a very detailed explanation on that. However, that we're not going to go into the yoga and the pranic aspects of the yoga using the mantras. Now, how to use these mantras? One of the greatest problems in concentrating the human mind stems from the mental background noises. Whenever we sit down to say a prayer or even, some mantras, we'll start accumulation of influences from the world around us, memories and impressions that are triggered by the law of thought association. It's difficult to be completely quiet because we seem to be forever in the company of all these imprints which the mind has stored and turns out at random. You always seem to get a thought that you never imagined when you sit down to do the mantras. It's very interesting. The thoughts which you never remembered will all creep up during this time. When you first attempt to develop single pointedness, you will become aware of this inability to quiet the mind. It's very difficult when you start initially. However, to deal with this, you can trick the mind into concentrating by a variety of techniques which vary the monotony without essentially changing the focus, by allowing the mind to be active within the framework of the mantra. There are people who also fall asleep as well during this mantra jam, and it's easily done. it starts off with the mind bringing in all the thoughts that you never thought are possible, and then it takes you into a deep slumber, but the mantra. So that is a possibility for new starters, and it's very, very normal. That's the whole idea, that this is the growing stage. When you start off, you're bound to come across these obstacles. So think of all the details of chanting, how the sound is produced, the breathing, the effect of sound on the body. Speed up the tempo of your chanting, including a greater number of repetitions within the span of one breath. Slow down the tempo, extending a name or syllable. Stress the first syllable or the last one. Either way, variation of the voice from very loud to swelling the sound to very soft and gentle. This kind of variety keeps the mind interested while still involving it fully, and it helps us to keep repetitions from becoming mechanical. Somebody asked me a question about, some of the devotees of ISKCON, they chant whilst dancing, they chant whilst walking around, etc. These are the variations. These are the stages that one tries out whilst building up on your mantra siddhi. So that's one way of doing it. You'll find people dancing, you'll find people crying, you'll find a lot of emotions go through this. Okay, so the whole idea of when you try and do that, the mantras, it will affect the emotions greatly, greatly. And when chanting, we often we realize that we cannot control the emotions through sheer willpower, okay? And when they're too strong. Therefore, we just have to give it back to God and ask Him for help. The deity of the mantra, ask Him for help, and you will definitely not be disappointed. So, and the moment when you cry out from the depths of your being, you are most sincere and you are single pointed in your anger, disappointment, or anguish. In doing this, you will experience true humility, perhaps for the first time for some people. Humbleness is not a virtue that is easily attainable. However, mantra jap can take it as one of the first few stages of mantra jap siddhi. You can either be a God's child or a God's servant. If you are the kind of person to whom pleasing others is important, please be God's servant. It will be highly, highly beneficial. Then He is your master. So please Him, offer yourself as an instrument through which He can love others. As you try to become more pleasing to God, you will find that His love comes to you through people who are His own creation. If God can love you, everybody else can love you. Combine formal mantra practice with daily reflection and the keeping of a spiritual diary. This will cultivate awareness to make necessary changes in daily life. And it will also provide a record of mental reactions to the practice and the obstacles encountered. As we discuss this whole process, you will come across this if you keep this, and if you want to, aspire to achieve a mantra siddhi. It is only by keeping a close watch on your practice over the entire period that a full understanding not only of the mantra but also of the functioning of the mind will be achieved. Knowing the impasses the mind encounters and also how it can overcome them can be very, very helpful in any situations of life. So we'll talk about the experiment, which will be the homework, but not yet. Okay. The power of the mantra becomes most effective when practiced regularly for a sufficient period of time. This is until you get the results. And how long should one chant for, or how frequently? It depends on your decision of your achievements, your goal. And if it's not for any specific goal, then too, one should keep a particular amount of time, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, half an hour, 1 hour, whatever one expects to or kind of create as a regular, a regular chanting session. So now, when the practice of mantra goes on for several hours at a stretch, mental chanting as well as various forms of japa can be altered in order to maintain concentration. And we can also do variations such as likhit japa. You know, we talked about likhit japa. Now, in likhit japa, it doesn't have to be straight on a book. You can draw a lotus petal, or you can draw yantras or whatever, and continue your japa in that form. So it becomes a variation. You can put your artistic touch and do the mantras in that aspect. And the energy that will come out of that is amazing. I think it's worth trying, unless anybody's tried it. However, it's wonderful. It's absolutely wonderful. So any shapes and forms of likhit japa on any article or any whatever you prefer, whatever you're drawn towards. Like you can see in this picture, somebody's drawn, written Om in a straight line completely, but with different colors. It's making it very vibrant. As we look at this picture itself, we feel the energy of that mantra, Om, but it's very, very powerful. It's just somebody practicing it in a different way. So that's the importance. Now, practice of the mantras. I think there are different mantras that are there for all the different people. Anybody who is attracted to a particular mantra can go for that particular mantra depending on the deity or whatever issues one may have. There are mantras for Navgraha Devatas as well, all the nine planets as well, whereby if anybody has, astrology deals with this 9 planet and the mantras, and those are specific remedies for anybody wanting to change a particular aspect or make it better in their life by changing that karma of their past life based on that particular house can recite those particular jobs, mantras rather. So, when we look at the practice of the mantras, we can see there are loads and loads of them, innumerable ones. And The mind is quite creative. So as soon as you give it some material, it weaves it with a pattern all its own. This can be easily mistaken during chanting as coming from some higher divine source. The advantage of not knowing what the mantra means is that the mind has nothing to work on. When the mantra does reveal itself to you, there will be no doubt of its meaning. So many people just follow a particular mantra because they've been asked to do so. And then they get specific experiences, and the deity of the mantra itself actually gives them some revelation. The Om mantra, the cosmic sound, Om, or its condensed form, Om, Om, or Om, the difference, just so is the origin. This is the origin of all other sounds and is itself a mantra, just Om itself. It's a very powerful mantra. It is called the prana or the sacred syllable and symbolizes Brahman or the essential spiritual reality. The mantra Om gives birth to rays of light, bringing illumination to the mind, to the body, and to the soul. It's one of the most highly practiced mantras in the universe. All sounds are blended into the beautiful cosmic Om, which can vibrate in the hearts of all who practice it. Mantra is speech, most profound, sound at its purest when the supreme sound of Om becomes sovereign. It takes you past the little selfish ego so that you are clothed in the new cloth of thought and sound. You will be lifted beyond all other existence. And when you speak, you will hear the sound of the self, your innermost being. The self, the soul, and the super soul. Krishna. Now, the flute of the Lord Krishna is also symbolic for the prana. By the sound of his flute, Krishna, who created the world, with its sound, he calls his devotees back to their heavenly home. Like the flute, the devotee must be empty, with egoism and self-importance removed. In that perfect and complete surrender, the mortal aspect, the self-will, becomes merged with the divine and blends in the joy and harmony, producing a sound of great inspiration, the cosmic sound Om. Om is chanted in 3 parts. I think I won't go into the details of how it's chanted. I think we've talked about it before, and I think mostly everybody here is aware of it. But if you want to, then I'll share it with you on a personal level. Krishna. The name of Krishna may be invoked and used as a mantra. Krishna invocation contains a story with a sequence of notes resembling the crying of a child for its father or mother. Now, this we are talking from the mantra aspect. The devotee is a child of God, and just as the child calls out for his parent, the devotee cries for God in the manifestation of Lord Sri Krishna. Krishna may also be seen as the cosmic or as the oversoul, the supersoul. Now, the singer as the soul in search of the Lord. The devotee learned that Lord Krishna cannot be commanded and will not produce a vision or a spiritual experience at the individual's convenience. When there is surrender to the fact that God comes in His own time and when He wishes, and when the flood of uncontrolled emotion is cleared, that's when the silence comes and the response happens. This is a mantra that is with devotional fire that consumes the emotional growth, brings the heart to pure longing, the mind to stillness, and the soul to peace. So, these are the two in-depth examples I've given, and we have loads of them. Hari Om, Radhe Krishna, Om Namah Shivaya, Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. All these are calling onto the deities of the mantras. So that's all the different examples, not all of them, but these are just a few of the mantras. Now, mantra and healing. Um, there are many theories concerning healing, but from observation and one's understanding through experience, we have our own unique insights into that. With our limited minds functioning only on the three-dimensional plane, we cannot really grasp all the law of the divine or the extended law of the nature because of the complications which cause different ailments or illnesses, whether it's mental or physical or any form of emotional challenges. However, by chanting with single pointedness of the mind, by reinforcing that concentration with action, by directing the will, healing will take place naturally within ourselves. Mantras can have a healing effect by releasing the emotions and bringing about a state of calmness and deep relaxation, both in the chanter and anyone listening to the chanting. With the mind relaxed, the source of the disease and the hidden roots of conflict may come to the surface where they can be dealt with, which can, once it's dealt with, it brings about healing. But we must know what we want to be healthy for, what we will do with the remainder of life if health is restored also. We must be single pointed in our desire. There may be advantage to being ill, which although we may not admit consciously, our ego wants to hold onto by enforcing our will and giving strength to that part which wants to be well. This polarity of the mind can be overcome, permitting healing to take place. There is a mantra, Aham Brahmasmi, which means I am Brahma, I am God, Aham Brahmasmi. This may seem a strange thought, but the person becomes what he thinks. We attract what we are. It goes on to that theory. Therefore, If you think you're a failure, you will become a failure. Conversely, if you continually chant Aham Brahmasmi, you will eventually realize your divine nature, and there will be little room for sickness at any level, physical, emotional, or mental. If you are to chant this mantra, it is important that you clarify in your own mind what the meaning of God is to you. That is very, very crucial. You must also do serious self-purification, and the rest of your life must reflect this purification. You must develop ability to surrender to the mantra and to the energy that comes from it. You must have the humility to be able to ask for forgiveness and apologize to others if you are in the wrong. Besides the ego's need for attention, which perpetuates illness and lack of humility and indicates a wrong attitude, there are many other factors which may interfere when you do spiritual practices for your own healing. Now, this is talking about the mantra for one's own healing. When we talk about the healing, it again applies to past life karmas as well, or the current karmas that you're facing, sanchit karma. Therefore, it's very, very important you understand what you want to achieve, which part of you wants to be healed, because only then you can get the desired effect and the results. All this is also important in regards to healing of others as well. I have often heard many people subscribing whatever they've been subscribed with without even understanding the full meaning or the essence behind that prayer or mantra. They offer the same and impose it on others. Now, how can one do that? Because when you yourself are not aware of the meaning of that mantra or what it's going to do for you, how can you impose it on others? It's when you first start this journey into mantras, the first and foremost thing one must do is to understand a mantra. We have looked at all the different aspects of the mantra, what it does, how it benefits, all the different mantras, what they're there for, and what they do for us. So it's very, very crucial, this knowledge, to use that and to build your spiritual journey ahead with the right mantra. Because if you just follow somebody else's prescription, you're not going to get anywhere, because you don't know what they need. Everybody needs a different kind of a mantra. There's no one mantra for all. Well, yes, there is in general. But if you want to take on a spiritual journey and you seek to achieve a mantra siddhi, it is very crucial what mantra you take on. So then we look at the, when we chant a mantra, we attract the spiritual power and we offer ourselves as a channel for this power. Do you see what I mean? It may work through us and it does whatever is necessary. So, many spiritual healers also do this mantra siddhi, and then they become a channel to heal others in this aspect. And some are naturally gifted to heal others through this channel due to their past life journey, which gave them the credit accumulated for this mantra. So then we talk about the cosmic energy and oneness. The cosmic energy of the mantra is completely, as we are aware of, we talked about it earlier as well, Om, or Krishna, or whichever mantra, well, not whichever, the main few mantras. However, and then the oneness happens naturally as you reach the peak of that mantra, or you achieve the number of mantras. Um, there is a mantra that whether it's for positive mantra or negative mantra, there is a mantra that has a beach mantra that has powerful energies but very destructive. One only has to repeat that mantra about 7 lakh times, and they can do so much damage to anybody. It's a highly, highly powerful mantra, but very negative in the wrong hands or with the wrong intention. So, just for your knowledge, that mantras are very, very powerful, whether it's positive or negative. To indulge into negative mantras, one is already creating a pool of negative energy for themselves, unless the intention is correct. The intention is to use those mantras to protect others, to help others, to heal others in different ways, then it's perfectly okay. But otherwise, it's forbidden in all the scriptures. One should not be tempted to practice negative mantras. Mantra in our daily lives. By practicing mantras in our daily lives, we can achieve purity. We can achieve dedication by continuously making a firm choice to achieve, to practice the mantra for a certain period of time, whether it's 5 minutes, 10 minutes, or whatever. It creates that dedicated energy as well. It creates self-development. Whatever mantra you do, just the practice of the mantra itself, you can achieve, the purity, the dedication, lots of good developments within. And you can also use the various forms as we discussed, the likit, vaikhari, upamsu, mansik, whatever. Mansik mantra, as we talked about, once you've perfected it, it plays in your subconscious mind as well, whilst you're doing other things. It's like a record going on in the back of your head. It just keeps on playing and playing and playing, sometimes, I don't know if anybody's experienced that, you hear something, it doesn't have to be a mantra, but the mind picks onto that, and it's so irritating. Sometimes you don't even ever listen to such things just because you heard it. The mind picks it up, and it's the most irritating factor. So if the mind can do that with something that you don't want, imagine with the intention what one can pick up and what one can practice and achieve. That's the most important part. Therefore, finally, after all that, one has to do the practice, and the practice of the mantras, the jap, it will only bring positivity and lead us all to a better place. Therefore, happy chanting. I will give you some homework that will be in the group. I will share in the group itself for our next time. But today we end the session of mantras over here. I hope you all enjoyed this. If anybody's got any questions, please kindly unmute yourself and share your questions.
Sorry, Shruti. Jai Shri Krishna.
Jai Shri
Sorry,
Krishna.
sorry, I just unmuted. Sorry.
That's all right.
So I just wanted to say that usually આપણે વાત થઈ હતી કે ગુરુ મંત્ર આપે.
Yeah.
So and for some reason, if you're young and the guru gives you a mantra, and then as you get older, maybe you have another path and you follow another. And then, is that okay to do that? Or, I mean, generally, what happens?
Okay. If you've received a mantra from a guru as a diksha of any form, now there's two things. One is, was it by choice? Or one, was it like a family heritage? Yeah. Or it could be a third one. Somebody's decided that that's good for you, you know. It could be any one of those examples, right? So if you have a mantra from a guru, from a diksha guru, and that guru is bona fide, and he himself or she herself has actually practiced the mantra in the profound manner and achieved the particular siddhi, then that mantra will only bring goodness for you. So therefore, that is one thing. However, as you grow older or your needs or requirements change, you know, we talked about the healing aspect or some other issues, or it can also be drawn to a particular mantra. It's not only just the healing aspects or issue. You could be listening to a particular mantra. I know many people get absolutely attracted to Gayatri mantra. You know, all of a sudden, they've never chanted it in their life and they do get attracted. There's absolutely nothing wrong in that, you know. But you have to ask yourself a question, and that is this temporary? Or that's it, I've decided I'm drawn to this mantra. Then the first most important thing to do is to find out what that mantra is for, what it does, the components, what it does. I mean, where is it going to take you? Then yes, you can change it. You can. One doesn't have to necessarily continue with the same mantra all their life. Ideally, yes, if you have one mantra, then it's brilliant, because it creates that continuity. You know, we talked about a siddhi, and in order to attain that siddhi or any jap mantra phal, then you have to continue the chanting. But if you change it, if you decide that this is it, you can't keep on doing that all the time. You can do other mantras as an additional bonus, but one should ideally, once they've consciously decided that this is for my soul, it resonates with me, then you should continue with that, rather than what somebody told you or whatever. That's the way, because everybody is an individual. So, you know, that's the way it works. So no, the answer, no, it's not wrong to do that. Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks.
Okay. Anybody else? Any questions? Wow, everybody is full of bounty and wonderfully in sync with the mantras, right? Well.
Hi, Shruti Auntie.
Yes. Yes,
Hi,
Paras.
Jai Shri Krishna. It was a very enlightening and beautiful session. I absolutely enjoyed it as always.
Thank you very much.
I think to touch up on something that you also mentioned in the last session in terms of how you should do the mantras when you're sitting in a straight line with a straight spine, etc. I think that was really, really powerful as well for me. One of the other things, I was just wondering what the general consensus is when we're doing mantras. The practice of keeping our eyes closed, is that something that is I guess as per the books or the Vedas, it's something that has been told to do is a good way of practicing mantras, because often, sometimes I find when closing your eyes, it enables your mind to focus on other things as well.
Yes.
So I'm wondering if there is a general consensus as to what is the right way, or does it matter, I guess, in that case?
Well, basically, these are some of the ways one can practice the mantra chanting. If it's the initial stage, then yes, you know, we talked about all the noise, the background noise, the thoughts, you know, from here, there, and everywhere. The psychological and the physical aspect of closing the eyes, immediately, it cuts out half the noise. So yes, it's a very important part of the practice of mantra siddhi. Once you've achieved a certain level, then it won't bother you. But yes, that level is hard. However, it's a good idea to do that, because then it shuts down, you know, 50% of the noise. So yes, yes, it is essential. Yeah, but don't do that if you're doing likhit jap, because you'll be writing all over. Yeah.
There'll be some interesting writing there, but no, thank you. Thanks for that.
Okay, welcome. Okay, anybody else? Any questions? Okay, well, everybody's full of power of mantra, right?
Oh, sorry, one more thing.
Okay, great.
Sorry, just one more. It just came to me. You know, you mentioned it's important to understand the meaning of mantras.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, if you don't have an access to a guru, which you know, some may not have, most are obviously blessed with that. Then in order to find the right meaning, if you're curious about certain mantras, there's lots of sources online. However, not all of them provide an accurate meaning. The source is very important. So what is the best source for that, if you're aware? Or
well, basically, if you're attracted to a particular mantra, the best way to do is to find a bona fide guru, somebody you can trust, somebody who can guide you on the knowledge of that mantra, not impose that mantra on you or anything. Yeah, just for the knowledge firstly, and after understanding the meaning of that particular mantra, think about it. Does it resonate within you? It doesn't? Yes, no, whatever. And then take it further, you know. And if a particular guru has actually acquired the mantra siddhi, then the best way to get that mantra is from that guru. Now, anybody who has acquired a mantra siddhi and gives a mantra to another person becomes a guru for that particular mantra. Yeah. Nobody is a guru for all the mantra. That is a fact. Nobody in this life can say, okay, I give you this. That is for siddhi, mantra siddhi. Okay, I'm talking about. Anybody can give any mantras, a number of mantras, etc. But nobody has got siddhi of all the mantras. And the main reason for that is what we talked about. It's important to have a focus on one mantra. It takes sometimes a lifetime to actually acquire a siddhi of a particular mantra, because our lives are so defined by external requirements, etc. And life is not, we don't live in the Himalayas or in the forests, etc. Yeah. So that's the best thing to do.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Okay. Right. I think everybody else is pretty.
Shriti?
Yeah.
મારે તને પૂછવું છે, આપણે ગુરુ જે મંત્ર દે એ આપણે જપ કરીએ તો કઈ વાંધો કઈ?
ના, ગુરુ આપણને જે મંત્ર આપે એટલે આપણને દીક્ષા તરીકે આપ્યું કે એમને આપે છે? જો બે વસ્તુ, એક તો આપણને દીક્ષામાં આપે, રાઈટ? દીક્ષા એટલે આપણને, ફોર એક્ઝામ્પલ, અષ્ટાક્ષર મંત્ર ઇઝ ગિવન એઝ પાર્ટ ઓફ અ દીક્ષા, રાઈટ? બ્રહ્મ સંબંધની દીક્ષા આપે. તો નાઉ ધેટ મંત્ર, ઈ મંત્ર તમે લીધું જ, તમે જાણી લીધું જ કે મને આ આ ગુરુએ આપ્યો છે, જે પણ ગુરુ, અને
હા.
એનું શું મિનિંગ છે, રાઈટ? તો તમને હા, પણ એવું નથી કે બધાને લેવો જ જોઈએ. ઇટ્સ લઈ તો ગ્રેટ, ફાઇન, પણ ઇટ્સ નોટ કે નેસેસરી કે બધાને કોઈ ગુરુ કહે તો લઈ લેવો જ જોઈએ. પહેલા બધાને વિચારવું જ જોઈએ કે શું
હા.
તમને એમાંથી શું મળશે. આ નોલેજ છે, આપણને એનલાઇટમેન્ટ મળે, એનો મતલબ જ એ છે કે તમને ખબર પડે તમારે ક્યાં સ્ટેપ્સ લેવા છે આગળના, કારણ કે આત્મા તમારું સ્વ આત્મા છે, અને તમારે શું જોઈએ જીવનમાંથી એના ઉપર આપણે નિશ્ચય કરવાનો હોય, રાઈટ? એટલે હા, એમને જાપ કરવાનો હોય, બધા સમૂહમાં આપણે બધા જાપ કરતા હોય, કોઈ કહે ગુરુ કે આ જાપ કરે, નથિંગ રોંગ, શુભ જ છે, એનું ફળ એ શુભ જ છે. પણ તમારે પર્ટિક્યુલરલી સ્પિરિચ્યુઅલી તમારી આત્માનું કલ્યાણ કરવું હોય તો ડિસાઈડ કરવું જોઈએ કે તમારે આ ગુરુએ કીધું છે મારે આ લેવો કે નહીં, આનું મને આમાંથી શું મળશે, રાઈટ? અને ગુરુ નોર્મલી એક્સપ્લેન કરે કે તમને આ મંત્ર હું તમને આપું છું, આમાંથી તમને આ આઈડિયલી એમ કરવું એ જોઈએ. ઘણા નથી કરતા, બટ એનીવે ધેટ્સ ધ હોલ આઈડિયા મંત્રનું, બીકોઝ ઇટ્સ અ પર્સનલ થિંગ. આપણું પર્સનલ, મોસ્ટ પર્સનલ હોય ને શબ્દ, તો એક મંત્ર છે જે આપણે બોલે, રાઈટ? Yeah.
That's true. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Yeah. Thank you.
Nice.
Yeah.
Thank you, Fatima. Okay. Right. Yeah.
Sorry, Jai Shri Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna.
Okay, same on the mantra, je Guru Diksha Mani pan am aipa hoy. Now, when you speak to your Guru and